And now the recording's on. So, let me go back to this one then. Welcome to the DNN Ecosystem Advisory Group Awareness meeting for November, on the 1st of November. All right, so far, out of our group of about 40 people, we have 6 of us here. So that's wonderful. We got that going for us.
Was that sarcasm, Will?
A little bit. I know we have a few people. I know there's one person that said they're going to be a little bit late, but that was just one. And I got an update from another person already, but here we go. So our agenda, review our primary goals, so we'll go through that. It's probably going to be quick this month. Set our goals for next month, and especially if there's anything new, and then review any long-term goals that we might have, and then open forum. I can't wait for the open forum. All right. Primary individual goals. So outside from the things that we want to do every month, as far as a group, one of the things I ask everybody in the community to do, not just the folks here, but champion something or co-champion something. You don't always have to be the one person that's doing something specific. Maybe team up with somebody or some people. But the big thing is do at least 2 things a month. Just 2 things. Like there's 30, 31 days, sometimes 28, 29. That's a lot of days to just knock out 1 or 2 things. So just 2 things a month, and generating snowball effect is to encourage other people to do the same. 2 things, and then keep in constant contact. Yes, you can. You can do just 2 things a day. For people watching the recording later, you won't see it on the thing. Yeah, that's a response to somebody's chat. All right. Anyhow, moving on. So the champion update. So these are the areas of focus that us as a group had determined that are important for our vision and our goal of achieving awareness across our ecosystem and other ecosystems for DNN. And so one's building a community dashboard, and so that's about having a single area where we can see the health of the community, see if we're doing good in specific areas, if we're doing bad, having a leaderboard for folks in the community to be able to see where they stand in terms of participation. So that's one of our areas. Another is speaker program, so creating a program in an area on the website, the DNN website, to allow speakers and user groups to find each other, as well as provide a way for folks to be able to create and distribute, canned presentations, right? So that other folks can use and present them as well. And then the user group program, so that's building a tool to bring that back and allow user groups to have a place to centralize and show that they exist and create meetings and get people to be part of it. Increasing social activity, so that's basically increasing the number of posts and tweets and just overall activity around DNN and its hashtags. Blogs, self-explanatory, creating more blogs, creating more YouTube videos and tutorials, creating a training course, on third-party websites. So that way people on other sites, they can find DNN and get trained on it. Creating a curriculum for schools to use. So that's another area. Increasing the number of new or updated extensions out there. So not any specific ones, but just in general. Updating the DNN website, especially the homepage and the messaging across it. And then, even though a theme is an extension, increasing the number of open source themes that are out there. So those are our areas. And so anybody watching the video, if any of these areas sound like you can help, you don't have to be technical, feel free to let us know. All right, so the community dashboard. So the last time we spoke, Jay had a beta version working, this was 2 meetings ago. He had a beta version working, and he's going to put it up for us to see. Jay, do you have an update for us? Pretty sure Jay's connected.
Sorry, I was on mute. I do. I was in the process of uploading all this to Azure this morning, and I had to run out to a client site, so I didn't finish it. But it is more or less ready to go. So as soon as I get back and I can confirm that that's working correctly, I will send out the link in the Slack channel. You guys can play around with it. And basically the way it works is you just you define the people, and you can go in and assign them points for various activities, and it will call out to different things like GitHub and Twitter, and I forget all the different hooks it's got in there, but they'll go and you can assign points for different activities, and it'll aggregate all that stuff and show you who's doing what. So that'll be up probably later today, as soon as I can confirm it's working and make sure that it's bug-free on Azure.
I don't think there's any such thing as bug-free, but I do appreciate
yeah, working.
Awesome. So, anybody have any questions for Jay while we're talking about Community Dashboard?
So, Jay, this is Glenn. You're talking about you were uploading. Was that screenshots, or was that like a code for a module?
No, the functional module is actually working. So it's actually got data in it. You can actually see it's got some cool little graphs that I kind of built in there, and so it's pretty slick.
Sweet.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right, so Community Dashboard, thanks for the update. But while we're talking about it, I am going to, where's it at? Move it. Here it is. I'm going to move that up, since you usually have an update around the same thing. So DNN homepage and messaging. So, yep. Are we still in the same cycle here? We're just still waiting for feedback?
So I'm going to just go ahead and close it down. I mean, we've asked for feedback now for 2 or 3 months and haven't gotten any, so I'm just going to assume that people have read it and they're okay with it. I got feedback from one person, which I integrated into the document. So I'm going to take just a final pass over it. If you guys, the 6 of us that are interested in it, appear to be interested in this effort, if you guys want to take a final pass at it, we can finalize it. I'll put it in PDF format and we can send it off. I'd really like to, give it to Andy in time that we could start an effort that has something to show in February at the DNN Connect, or DNN Summit rather. And then, we could actually show the people that come to Summit, hey, this is the direction we're trying to take the website effort, the messaging effort, and maybe even, I don't know if it's too late, but maybe even have like a session on, DNN messaging and how we're trying to affect that. Might be too late to have a session on that, but
I would prefer, honestly, I would prefer for us to take action before then. I would rather us be able to be at the conference saying, look at the cool things that we as a community have accomplished in this area.
Yeah, I'd like to have something to show that, stuff that we've done and actually, things we've changed already. That would be great. I don't want to start this in February. I'm just saying I would like to have something to show in February to the community to say, hey, look, this is all the stuff we've done on the messaging front.
So do you think it's a realistic goal by the end of next week to have something ready to show to Andy and then make the formal request to say, hey, we need the keys to the kingdom and let us, do this?
Yeah, I don't know why we need to wait till next week. I mean, the document is ready to go. I feel like it's ready to be presented. I haven't gotten any other feedback saying this is totally wrong or anything like that. So unless somebody's got some major changes to the document, I think we're pretty much ready to go. I'll give it a final pass, just do bug typo checking and stuff like that. But the content is pretty much where I think it needs to be.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's make that our goal then. To get something together so that way we can actually make that formal request. Say, hey, let's have this meeting and let's move forward with this.
Where is this thing again?
Say what now?
We're on Slack. I hate to ask a Slack question because we know rabbit hole this is going to put me in, but where is this thing again?
It is in Slack, yes.
What is it called again?
So
What up?
there it is. So in this channel right here, the Slack channel, you may or may not have to add yourself to it.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't see it on my channel, so.
yeah. So when you're looking at your channels, hold on, let me pull it up over here.
You know, let's not. We don't need to waste time with teaching.
Well, this is something that's common. A lot of people don't know how to add themselves to a channel they're not part of. So, so if you see the channel area over here, right? So you'll have a list of channels here, but generally when you start in any Slack channel, you'll see less than others. And so if you click on the word channels or the plus sign for it, what happens is you're able to see all the channels that are available to you, and you can just click on one to add, right? So like there's one that's the only one I'm not part of is this Denver meeting one, but I removed myself from it because we weren't doing it anymore because Denver's over, right? So if I want to add myself to it, I just click on it and then I'm added. That's it. Join. So it's 3 clicks.
Okay, go. Oh, I see it. Okay, thank you. Sorry for the.
Yeah. See, we helped him be more aware of yet another part of DNN.
Right. And Slack.
Yeah. Excellent.
Thanks.
My pleasure. All right. Anything else about the homepage messaging? All right. Sounds good. All right. Come on. PowerPoint's mad at me right now. All right. Here we go. Increasing social activity. So we still need a champion for this area. Oops, not that far. So until we have a champion, basically we need somebody that's able to say at every meeting, here's what we've been able to accomplish in terms of goals over the past month. We don't have anybody for this area right now, even though we have a list of people. There's no actual like one champion pushing this forward. So I heard
Will, I mean, just a reminder that the DNN Awareness, username, Twitter handle exists.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what you're really looking for here because we don't have any software to measure anything. So I'm not really sure how someone will report on this other than giving access to that particular handle so that they can look at stats and stuff.
Well, for each of these areas, the first thing that needs to always happen, and it's not just these areas, but anything that we have a goal on to achieve, whether it's within DNN or outside of it, but before you can start on it, you need to have a plan. So we don't even have a plan. So, nobody's created a framework saying this is what we can do to increase social activity. And that plan, of course, will overlap in a lot of things in a lot of ways, and that's fine. But until we have a plan and somebody driving that plan, software is just one piece of that, right? That all that is saying, our efforts have or have not had a good impact over the past month, right? But we don't know what those efforts are without somebody driving that. So to that end, and to kind of illustrate the point, does anybody have an update on this? Exactly. All right, we're moving on to blogs. Blogs, I'm not sure we need a champion, but we do. But we do have because blogs we're doing fairly well on, right? Like we continue to have a certain number of blogs every month. Thanks, Clint. Clint's been updating multiple Twitter accounts, and so has David. Yeah. So there have been a number of tweets over the past month, and they're good. We just don't have a way to. And that's just one platform. We don't have a way to report on activity over the past month yet. All right. So are any significant updates for blogs?
I did a blog on testing, helping out with release candidate testing. for DNN platform recently to try to help people know how they can get involved in that.
Yeah, that's actually a really good blog on how to do test release of DNN. That's a really good blog. I don't know if everybody else had a chance to read that, but it's basically, you know, written in a way to where, you know, even a non-technical person, like, here's how you can help. You know, you can test. And so Clint also had an epic blog on particle.io plus DNN. Hey, you want to give an update on that, Clint?
Yeah, I mean, so basically I did a Halloween IoT project, and it used DNN on the front end, you know, to manage permissions and give me a mobile interface from which I could fire off cloud functions in Particle's system. And it made, you know, a clown move and scare little kids. But the neat part, yeah, David posted the links in the chat. The neat part is that, I mean, I just originally posted it on my blog, and I did some videos walking through the code and, you know, showing basically how I did it at a high level, and tweeted about it, and Particle reached out to me and wanted to post it on their blog, which, you know, I said, oh yeah, that would be great. So posted it there. Had a couple people emailing me, you know, wanting help with stuff. Then yesterday, and, you know, Particle was tweeting it out as well. I did have to log into, and it kind of hurts me to say it a little bit, a WordPress site. I felt dirty to review the blog before it went live. Then yesterday, Hackster.io, which I don't know if y'all are in IoT, but they're like, you know, pretty big. So both Hackster and Particle were like tweeting about it. Basically, it was just timely content. It wasn't that I did anything too crazy. I moved 3 motors or whatever, and but because it fell on Halloween, it was good. But ultimately for DNN, I referenced DNN in the blog, linked to it, things like that. So it should kind of spread DNN in front of larger audiences.
And that's one of our main missions as a group. That's fantastic. Oh, hello. Bye, Mr. PowerPoint. There we go. And you're back. David's busy giving us all the links.
You're welcome.
Oops. There we go. That one. All right. Anybody else have any interesting blog updates? All right.
As far as the blog, I've noticed that I would call it Tycho, but I think he refers to it as Tico. He's been posting some blogs lately, which is good to see. And I also think Daniel Valadas is doing a great job of taking minutes during meetings and then posting those out to the community. One of the many things he's doing.
Yeah, I like the Tijo's blogs he's been posting. It's content that hasn't been published before, and so it's good to get some of that out there and start some conversations in those areas. I have a blog too, but it's going to overlap into the next section here. So Adderson gave an update. Hold on, let me pull that one up real quick. So Adderson, there we go, gave an update. So he has the DNN monthly chat he did, the last TUG meetup he did, And the next one, so this is overlapping in a couple different areas. Let's see here. He's going to start interviewing DNN Summit speakers next month, or this month, sorry, as of today, this month. But he hasn't done any video tutorials this month. Oh, that's new. That's not something he's done before. And DNN Open Friday, so every Friday that's still going. So the DNN Open Friday is a thing that kind of happens mostly on Slack. There's a special Slack channel that people come and get, help for DNN every Friday morning, United States East Coast time. So we'll try to get some of that stuff posted as well. All right. So no video tips. No video tips, monthly DNN Open Chat. Oh, well, his update's pretty much the same, except for those video tips. So we can just take that out. All right. I didn't do 5 this month, but I did probably like 2 this month, maybe, on how-to videos. The DNN Hangout happened last week. So we, in our previous, or our first new episode, we brought the DNN Hangout back. So for those of you that remember Mr. Ralph Williams, he's sometimes behind the scenes. Ralph and I are hosting the new DNN Hangout. So we started it I think it was last week. Yeah, pretty sure. These weeks run into each other for me. But we started it back up. In our first episode, we interviewed Mr. David Poindexter. And I wanted to interview him because he has that NV Quick Pulse, the new mobile app that helps you discover and kind of look at the health of various DNN extensions out there that are hosted on GitHub. And so I wanted to kind of run through that real quick. But the interesting thing was that I didn't realize this until I was posting it, is that in the previous iteration of the DNN Hangout, he was the last person that we interviewed. So hopefully this is not the last person we interview again.
I'm not really sure what that says. All right.
Yeah.
I'm either the DNN Hangout killer or the resurrector.
Time will tell. Time will tell. All right. Does anybody else have any video updates? Oops.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want to count the videos I embedded in the blog as a video contribution, but there's at least one that is showing DNN.
And you even call it out, even though you're just pointing at a DNN website, and you click on a button on a DNN website, or tap, touch, whatever.
Yep. But I mean, being able to, maintain those permissions to who has access to control it, I mean, it's all, if you're just an IoT guy who knows nothing about web, it could be helpful.
Oh. So the work you've done, is that open source? You're muted.
I'm sorry, I muted myself. I would say yes in the sense that I showed all code of what I've done, but no in the sense that there's not a download button for it on GitHub.
It would be interesting if somebody helped Clint make that an open source thing and then have a follow-up blog to show here's how you can get to it and you can do this too.
You have to kind of use the particle platform, and it doesn't really, it's not like you upload files to it and download files from it and all that.
Okay, just throwing it out there. I don't know. I haven't used particle myself yet. Well, then that's a good segue to this one, new and updated extensions. Yeah, so any updates in the new and updated extensions area? So Mr. John Slater, he's our champion for this. The last we spoke, you said that you were going to try to come up with a strategy. Did you have an update on this by any chance?
I do not. I gave some thought as to what direction it goes in. The overall thought I had was that quality is better than quantity. it seems like 2,000, which I think is the number we sort of pegged it at last, is not a number you could really sort of get your head around with any kind of decent understanding of what it does. 2,000 modules or add-ins or whatever you want to call it it's probably a big enough number. So I think focusing on the quality of those add-ins is more important. How we go about doing that, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far on it. Continue. Yes.
Yeah. So just a thought here. So what we're doing in this particular area has a little bit of overlap with the developer group, right?
Okay.
And so I would say the mission of the developer group would be more about trying to increase the quality, whereas we need to get more people doing it, right? Like if we have some bad ones out there, it's a lot easier to say, hey, here's how I want to help, and here's how you can do this better, versus there's nobody to help because we don't have the quantity.
Okay.
That's just my 2 cents. I don't know if anybody else has an opinion on that. And I think there's a chat on it. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of text, David.
You don't have to read that now.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to read it. I'll let everybody else read that one. All right. I don't know. Does that make sense, John?
It does. I just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, we need to increase the number of extensions out there overall, and I would say that's the better, or to me that would be a better goal, because there's plenty of us out there to be like, well, this could be done better, and maybe I'll even do a pull request or something, right?
Okay.
That's just how I think about it. It's your area.
So that's it. That's as far as I got.
Okay. Still working on the plan. And we love it when a plan comes together. All right. Curriculum. Mr. Lucas, you're here.
Yeah, sorry, I was a bit late because of the time difference.
Yes, sir. So you got any news for us?
Yeah, well, we talked about the university.
Mm-hmm.
I have something equal.
You have what?
An equal.
An equal?
Equal. I can hear myself.
Oh, echo.
Echo, yeah.
Yeah, I don't hear it.
That's because it's coming back through your mic from your speakers.
That doesn't ever happen, though. Like, I've never had to touch my volume.
Shot.
So it's funny to have an echo. Anyway, the university website is finished. Of course, we have a lot of issues with them because they are slow as a mechanism. Universities are really slow when it comes to arriving to decisions. So we are still waiting for simple things like the SSL and stuff. No, it wasn't here from the start of the meeting, Will. And they've actually called me twice to go there because it's the headquarters are in a different town than when I live. It's not too far away, but the truth of the matter is that within the past 2 weeks, I think I haven't slept at or seen my wife. So, so I just postponed that meeting. I don't have any news regarding what they are planning to do in terms of switching other sub-portals to DNN, because the way the university is structured, they have the main website for the whole university, and they have a let's say, sub-portal or another portal for each of the, how do you say that, studies, let's say. So they have like 18 departments they all been using WordPress and Joomla. I believe. What a joy. You can see the joy oozing out of me when I'm talking about Joomla. But anyway, they are thinking of switching most of their portals to DNN so they can have a unique, solid solution with permissions. They hate the way permissions are structured in a WordPress or a Joomla environment, because basically they are not structured at all. You have to add some plugins to work. Yeah. In another matter, I'm pursuing some companies to hire small developers for their portal. We've made some really big portals within the last year, and we had the discussion the other day. The directors of the companies were a bit confused whether to stay with DNN or to move forward to another framework. And the reason behind that is because they cannot find any really good DNN developers. They are totally happy with how DNN works. They are totally happy with the security and integration, but they cannot just find developers to hire in a budget that I believe is not a very good budget. But anyway, you know, for new guys going out of university or for schools, it's a great opportunity to work in that companies. So I'm pursuing them, and I'm basically offering free training to those companies, to the existing personnel, so they can, you know, stick with DNN. So my time is basically a bit limited. I can send you a list of those companies if needed.
So when you're talking about the, shut up, Clint. when you're talking about the they're finding a hard time finding developers, are they trying to have developers like on their team
Yes.
in their organization, or like are they just in general they can't find somebody to work on stuff for them?
First of all, in-house developers for their marketing teams, and you know, for the technical departments, but they are also facing a lot of difficulties finding really companies to work with developing their projects. And that is because there are a lot of C# programmers out there, a lot of .NET developers, a lot of front-end designers, and there is not a bridge between them. They haven't worked with each other in terms of DNN most of the times, you know. So, you know, front-end designers just get their PSD file, just apply an HTML, CSS, and then how to put that into DNN. So it's a big issue here in Greece. I don't know in other countries outside US that we cannot find many people involved in DNN, which is pretty much, you know, sad. I've been through a lot of CMS in the past, and I believe DNN, you know, is one of the most rock solid ones. I don't say that it doesn't have any mistakes, but it's a rock solid product compared to other solutions.
Can I unmute now safely? Am I echoing myself too? Like,
No.
all right. And I even turned my speakers all the way down. I can barely hear you guys now, just so you know. So like, I don't know what to do about this, especially since the echo happened just randomly in the middle of this. All right. So treat. What's that?
Buy
Oh,
a
headset.
headset.
And then I have to look like David.
I look like David.
He takes his video off. Yeah, but the thing is, like, this doesn't happen. Like I don't remember last time somebody said an echo, like maybe in a different environment. Anyway, yeah. So the next one. Thank you for your update, Mr. Lucas, and your efforts in offering training to folks. That's awesome. You know, and you know, one of the things about the curriculum, like once there is some out there, then we can increase the number of DNN developers and users and whatnot in more meaningful ways. So moving on to training and courses, wow, we're actually going slower than I thought we would. So Tracy's not here. Tracy and his team were working on this. Not here today, so we don't know what the status of the DNN University is.
Sorry, I can say some things about that. First of all, Tracy, I don't know, he's not online all day today, so I don't know, maybe he has some obligations that I'm not aware of. But I know that he has pushed the deadlines forward, so I think we are to finish all the videos, all the videos are to be finished within November. He wants everything to be ready mid to end November.
So one of the things about that is, I know he was like, it's DNN training, of course, but I think there was like a focus on evoke. Is that still the case?
Yeah. Well, it has a big chapter regarding liquid content and social modules that are different from the community edition, but all the others are applicable to both versions.
Okay. Yep. Thank you. Sorry, I'm typing in there and listening at the same time. So, all right. And I'm trying not to unmute while somebody's talking. All right. So next one's themes. Again, Tracy's not here this month. So his team, the last I heard, actually a week or two ago in Slack, somebody from his team said, I think it was Alessandra, DNN Diva, said that they have at least one open source theme coming this month. So I just don't, but we don't have an update officially. Have there been any quick theme updates, Mr. David?
Just about every day. A lot of people using it, a lot of people contributing.
So that's interesting. So like on a almost daily basis, like what kind of updates do you see coming in?
Like yesterday, we just processed an update there was a interesting scenario where if you're using MeQuick theme and you're looking at a spa module settings, you know how you got the action, the three little icons. Well, the one that allows you to move it to another pane was styled differently, but only for spa modules. So there's different class names used for that. So someone, I believe it was Ali Hodgson, posted a pull request to fix that. So yeah, just one of many examples.
So whenever like a pull request like that comes in, like I obviously don't have experience in this, but well, I have experience in pull requests. But when that comes in for this particular project, like is it structured in such a way that as soon as it comes in and you accept the pull request, it's already available for folks?
That's correct. By cloning the repo. We've struggled a bit with the idea of having versioned releases of it because it's really a tool. It's not so much a theme that you just want to use, right? The whole idea is that you use it as a tool to build your own theme with a good starting point. So we've kind of slacked off a bit on doing actual version numbers, releases, and that kind of thing. But yeah, so it's really once it's merged, you clone the repo and you got it.
All right. So there's a release of how do you say Cillian or Zillion? Does anybody know how to say that correctly? Okay. So we're going to continue to call that whatever the heck we want to call it. Speaker program. So the update here, Mr. Joe Craig was going to do this, but now we are in need of a champion again. He just doesn't have time to dedicate to it. So anybody here or anybody watching this later, if you want to head this up, basically this still needs the first step is somebody to just outline the framework. Like, here's what needs to happen, here's our goals, and then we can start to like actually work on it. Yeah. So moving on, user group program. David and I need to have a meeting. All right.
Which evidently takes several months to schedule.
It does now. All right. So our monthly goals, we want to make sure there's at least 5 blog articles out there, at least 8 YouTube videos. We're not hitting our goal on training courses, 1 a quarter. So like that's an interesting thing because anybody can create a training course. It doesn't have to just be Tracy. Anybody can do that, and you can publish it out there in various platforms. In doing that, it's something that you can charge for. So like that's a business idea for anybody who wants to try to tackle that. And then having at least 5 new or updated updates to existing open source extensions over the course of a quarter. I think honestly we should be able to do that in a month, but we just need we need somebody driving that. All right, so long-term goals, basically do the math on that. First half of the year, I think we actually got our goals pretty much tackled. But open forum. I'm going to start this one. So we have around 40 people or something in the awareness group. And we have 7 people here today. We've been averaging around 10 or 11, maybe 12 people here and there per meeting over the past like 4 months, maybe 5. So I have 2 questions. So the first one is, what can we do to help increase people's activity within this group itself? Anybody have any ideas?
So I think one place that we could drum up more interest with this, is going to be at DNN Summit, because that's going to be, 300 or 400 people that are obviously interested in DNN, and maybe we can get some more interest in people that are motivated to contribute. I do think if we are more active on the forums, and I almost never go on the forums anymore, but for various reasons. But I think that we could also get more participation if we are going to the forums, where people that are looking for answers maybe could, or looking, they could stumble across a post about what they can do to help.
Okay. And anybody else have any additional feedback? I don't know what the answers are. This is an open question. And David said something in the chat. He said maybe, so it's not just the meeting. This problem also exists in Slack. Like, even when I ask for updates, it's like crickets. I'm talking to an empty room.
Yeah, so one of the things I've noticed is that I guess this is still recorded, isn't it? Yeah.
We can take this off at this time. Is there anything that anybody wants to bring up that we should keep in the recording, and then we can do offline?
So I wrote in the chat, maybe ask people if having the meeting at a different time would, I don't know, help out some.
Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording now. And anybody who's watching this, thank you for taking the time to watch. And please feel free to help us with our goals. And thank you for using DNN.